Hello there. Today is Confession series, and before I start, my name is Abdul Mukuba, and you're here for digital marketing advice. So, why am I talking about Confession series? Confession is me being vulnerable and telling you mistakes that I did with my campaigns and my clients' campaigns. And with those mistakes, I'm here to advise you on how to avoid them. So, today we're going to talk about 10 pieces of advice that I was given that was really, really atrocious, that messed up my campaigns and wasted so much money. When you begin something new, if you're like me, you're always hungry for advice, you're hungry for tips, you're looking for anything to do to make your campaigns better, to save money. You're looking for that silver bullet to make you as successful as possible. But when you get this advice from YouTube, when you get this advice from gurus, when you pay for a certain course on Coursera, you get to realize the guys who are claiming to be gurus, they are not gurus. They don't know what they're doing, or rather, the advice could be good, but they're not good for you because of number one, industry, number two, location, number three, time of the year, just various things. So when somebody stands in front of you and gives you advice, even though they are a well-known expert, I would say take everything with a pinch of salt and learn. So I'm gonna start from this is my favorite. The mistake I was told. When I read one of the blog posts or what's one of these YouTube videos saying that you need to post every day, all day. Like, so post every day for the week. You need to be there when your clients are online. Well, the irony is there's a bit of truth, but it's mostly half truth. When I posted every day for like 2 months, 3 months, there was no return in investment. There's no feedback in terms of comments, likes, and stuff. It just felt like I'd spent so much time and I'd really been burnt out. So the truth of the thing is, posting is important, but the more important thing about posting is having the right strategy to post. Like, for example, you don't need more content, you need the right content for your business. Yeah, so you need content that speaks to your client and serves as a pain point. Another mistake I was told when I started out is when I was trying to get into Facebook marketing is boost posts, and it's a quick and easy way to get clients and to get returns. But that wasn't true. I came to realize later that when you boost posts, yes, you get visibility, but you don't get much in return. And the thing which really bothered me more is like there's no control, and I couldn't learn from anything. You couldn't even test to see which one is working, who you're targeting. This was very, very limited in what you can do. So for me, what I would say as advice for this is get to learn how to use Facebook Ads Manager. Choose proper objectives, choose the right audience, and make sure it works for you. If you're looking for advice on how between the two, boosting and using Facebook ads, there should be a link somewhere here. Right, so here's another one. I was told to be on every platform. I'm sure you've heard that before. There's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Like, you have to be everywhere to find your audience. Nobody knows what the algorithm is. It's only the owners of the platform, the owners of Facebook, Google, TikTok, LinkedIn. They're the only ones who know what works and what really doesn't work. There are many people who come and say they figured it out, they try to reverse engineer, and this is what works for you now. Many of the times, no, nobody knows what it does. There are times you're told to post in the morning to get more reaction. There are times you're told to post in the afternoon. You're told this kind of content works versus this other content, but really nobody really knows. There are hints here and there because they are given you're given some feedback on how your content is operating, but the algorithm is a black box, and just all you need to focus on is providing value, and the rest will come to you. Then also another thing you need to focus on, you're not posting for the algorithm. You're talking to individuals, you're talking to businesses, and you're trying to give them value for how to improve their lives. Oh, here's another thing that I was told that is also a bit of a challenge for me is email marketing is dead, especially in certain places of the world. But to be honest, no, email marketing still works. The other day I ran a campaign, I got very positive feedback. The best part about email marketing is you own the audience. Like, for example, if you have 1,000 subscribers, if you have 2,000 subscribers, that will always be your subscribers. When it comes to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, those are the audiences that are on those platforms. If something happens, they'll no longer be accessible to you. So with email marketing, even with Google, if your site is ranking really well today, you're on page one, you're getting clients, you're getting business, that's well and good. But tomorrow they'll switch the algorithm, and then boom, you're on page 3 and page 4, and you don't have any more traffic or more business. That's why it's very important to own your audience. With email marketing, you can make it more personal, engage with the people according to the level they are on your buying cycle, and then doing it every weekly, you can grow the audience well and get more bang for buck for it. Another thing I was told is you don't need a website. You can just be on social and you can break bank. Now, this is one of the biggest lies, and I really hate that it's being told all over the media, all over different platforms, and this is a pain. Here's a personal example. There's a business I was working with that was completely on Facebook. They didn't make an effort to create a website. All the clients they were getting were on Facebook because it was a social business, and they were doing really well. So I told the person that please, in addition to this, you need a website so that you can own your audience. But the person thought about it. They thought about the expense and like, nah, they are good with the social media company. But guess what? The page was closed down. The page was closed down because of some random ban or something they did. They posted copyright music. I don't remember what, but the Facebook was gone. They had 100,000 followers, and overnight they lost it like that. The person was so angry, so depressed. Obviously his business went down, and then he was like, he didn't want to admit it, but he came back to me and told me like, yes, now he understands the value of having a website and controlling his own audience, or getting to own his own audience. Another thing that can happen to you is, I don't know if you guys have had this problem, is like when your Facebook page doesn't go down per se, but you lose logins. This happens when you forget your password, or the authenticator app that you're using only works on a different phone, or they change up how you log into your website, and then you lose something, then you don't have any access. Or another thing is that guys do that make this mistake that I also saw the other day. They give their digital marketing companies, ones who they're working with, to run the campaigns, and the digital marketing company creates for them a Facebook page, but don't give them access to it. They create the page under themselves. And so eventually, when they cut ties and they move to another company, the company A, the original company, is the one who is in charge of that Facebook page. And then the new digital marketing company is forced to come up with a whole new page. And this time you can imagine, if you've dealt with one company for like 5 years, then moving to another company, and that means 5 years worth of content, 5 years worth of of followers. They could be the millions, just being lost like that, and that's normally a nightmare. And then now, lastly, Facebook could just randomly decide to ban your page. Mistake number 7: I was told there's no need of getting to niche down, serve everyone. Oops, this was a problem for me. But also, personally, I was afraid of niching down because I wanted to appeal to everybody. But then again, I ended up appealing to nobody. You know, when your net is too wide, you get to catch nothing. So this one I had to break down and go like, okay, slow down. What I needed to do is just find my clients and just, even if it's a small market, even if it's a small field, work with the guys that I know. Work with the companies that give me the best results. Work with the industries or the people that give you the best results. Right. So another thing that you should consider is when people say do not niche down. Uh, this is I also fell victim to this because I thought if I focus on one industry, let's say for example real estate, I would miss out on sales in fashion, in food, in travel. But the opposite happened. When I decided to focus on one industry, I tended to have more results in terms of my campaigns were targeted, my media was more focused, and I was able to get more money. So the more you specify, the more specific you become, the more profitable you end up being. Another problem that uh, another piece of advice that I was given that was not the best is don't focus on SEO, it is too slow. Focus on paid media and your business will grow. Well, to be honest, that wasn't the worst advice I got, but it wasn't the best. It is true that SEO is slow, sometimes frustratingly slow, but it should also be part of your bag. You should always focus on SEO, always focus on articles, always focus on building your website, always focus on growing your online presence using organic means. Yes, you will pay for clicks and you'll get business real quick. But the problem is over time the cost per click keeps increasing and keep doubling. And when the cost increases and you can't afford it, that means less clicks and less business for you. And at the end of the day, you might end up with a dry pipeline because you can't afford a CPC. While in the meantime, while you are doing both pay per click and SEO at the same time, growing them organically, growing them at the same time, you're growing your PPC business, your business is bound to flourish. So how can you grow your SEO? SEO is done by writing articles that answer your clients' problems, optimizing blog posts and blog pages, and do keywords research. SEO is powerful. Now, here's one of the lies that I learned about social media, which I don't want you to do, or the mistake I was told is focusing on going viral. This means chasing trends. This means looking at what's happening right now and trying to emulate the same thing, hoping your video and hoping your content grows viral. Well, it might happen, yes, you might go viral, but what does it mean? It means there is no real audience. There is people are not who see your content may not be into your business. Um, it doesn't build uh, trust in your business. You just a sensation for the night, and then sometimes going viral doesn't even help your business. You know. So here's what you need to do. You need to focus on depth. You need to focus on your content. You need to focus on value. You need to focus on your core clients. You don't want to serve everybody in your area. Like for example, you don't serve all of England, and you can only serve like London. Your business capacity is just London. So focusing on going viral is not. It's just one of those metrics that's just vanity. It happens once in a while, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's the algorithm or just the right time or everything. Another mistake I was told is when I'm creating content for myself and for my business is not to focus or not to give out too much free advice. Some advice should be behind a paywall. Just give one or two snippets, and then hopefully, if the people are interested, they would pay for the actual other pieces of advice, which I find to be manipulative and scary. When you're online, you're trying to give value, you're trying to teach, you're trying to grow, you're trying to entertain and educate. If you just try and get behind a paywall, you might get clients here and there, but on the long run, you lose out on the bigger market. The more advice you give, the more you're seen as an expert, the more you're seen as an authority, the better it is for you in the long run. So I would advise to just give as much value in terms of information, in terms of education, to benefit your client. So as a wrap up, here's the mistakes I was told: to post every day, to boost your posts, to be on every platform, to follow the algorithm. Email marketing is dead. You don't need a website. SEO is too slow. Don't niche down. Focus on being viral and not give out too much value. So as you've heard, don't make mistakes I have made, and let's grow together. See you till next time.